The highest ambition of enterprise AI right now is total autonomy. Organizations want to deploy agents that can take a complex, multi-day workflow and execute every single step entirely on their own. But there is a massive roadblock. Call it the agentic bottleneck. Current models have a bad habit of jumping to conclusions, confidently claiming they've made progress even when the evidence is thin. Because of that, they can't actually be left alone. You end up babysitting the model, constantly checking its work to catch the subtle mistakes it overlooked and failed to mention. Anthropic designed Claude Opus 4.8 specifically to solve this. Instead of simply dialing up raw intelligence, they focused the architecture on two specific traits: honesty and judgment. If you want an AI to run high-stakes tasks while you're asleep, it is more valuable for the model to know when it's wrong than for it to guess right. To make Opus 4.8 reliable, Anthropic explicitly trained the model to be honest. If a plan has holes, the model is built to push back. It actively flags its own uncertainties rather than faking its way through. This diagram illustrates the model's internal verification process. In their evaluations, Anthropic found this training translates directly into performance, making Opus 4.8 4 times less likely than previous models to let a flaw in its own code pass by unremarked. They've paired this internal honesty with a new user-facing control dial, effort. Now you can explicitly dictate how much compute the model dedicates to a problem. Turn it up, and Claude spends more tokens thinking deeply to return a sharper response. Turn the dial down, and you get fast mode. The model bypasses the deep analysis, operating at 2.5 times the speed and a third of the cost for routine tasks. By regulating its own processing power and recognizing its own limits, the model functions as an active, adaptable collaborator. That improved judgment is the exact prerequisite to let an AI loose on massive, multi-step operations. With Opus 4.8, Anthropic introduced a feature called dynamic workflows to do exactly that. In a single session, Claude can now spin up hundreds of parallel subagents to tackle vast projects, like migrating hundreds of thousands of lines of code across an entire codebase at once. And because of that honesty training, Claude doesn't just write the code and hope for the best. It runs the new code against the existing test suite, verifying every subagent's output before merging the final build. If the parameters of the project change while those agents are running, developers can use an update to the Messages API to inject new instructions mid-task. They can update permissions or token budgets without breaking the prompt cache or halting the workflow. The system achieves true autonomy by orchestrating, executing, and self-verifying massive engineering projects from start to finish without any human intervention. You can see the result of this architecture most clearly in fields with a strict burden of proof. In early testing, Opus 4.8 delivered the highest score ever recorded on the legal agent benchmark, breaking past the 10% threshold on the all-pass standard. For platforms like CoCounsel, that measurable lift in accuracy translates directly to trust. It defines exactly how much substantive, high-stakes legal work real attorneys can safely offload. The same applies to data and finance. Databricks integrated Opus 4.8 into their AI agent, Genie, to parse complex, unstructured content. It allows their platform to reason directly over dense PDFs and diagrams, and it does so at a 61% lower token cost than the previous Opus model. Meanwhile, Hebbia uses the model to orchestrate financial document workflows, relying on its ability to pull highly precise citations from massive, dense daily filings. In these fiduciary-grade professions, processing speed is entirely useless if the answer is wrong. Accuracy that you can actually verify is the only metric that matters. Opus 4.8 marks the exact point where AI graduates from requiring constant supervision to executing complex tasks completely autonomously. Anthropic is already pushing this capability further. Their next major initiative is Project Glasswing, an effort to bring highly autonomous AI directly into the cybersecurity sector. To do that, they are testing a new class of model called Mythos Preview. Because the intelligence level is so high, Anthropic is building new frameworks of cyber safeguards before it can be released to the public. It highlights a strict dual mandate. As they prepare to release the Mythos class, They are proving with Opus 4.8 that they can scale capability and rigorous alignment testing at the exact same time. As enterprise models take on larger and more complex tasks, their value is determined by the judgment and honesty they bring to the workflow.